Someone's already started the stage. That's fine. Cool. Welcome, everyone. We're just going to let everyone join in as we start to get ready to talk about the agenda. We'll go through some intros, and we'll take you through what we're going to talk about today, and then we'll dive straight in. Thank you all for coming on. Just give it a couple of minutes, and then we'll get going. Dan and Brian, if you're ready.
Jake, have you fallen asleep?
Not quite yet. I know we've been busy, but I'm still wide awake. Right. Well, thank you everyone for coming on and joining another Swapsicle AMA. We're absolutely delighted to have you all here, and we can't wait to run through the agenda and give you guys some updates and just talk Swapsicle with you guys. Thank you all for your patience and all of your support. It's much appreciated. The Twitter is growing every day. The Discord is slowly growing as well. And we just want to welcome all the new people that have come on board and are talking, living, breathing Swapsicle with us. So thank you very much. So we've got Dale. Some of you may already know of Dale. Dale, I don't know if you want to give us a quick intro and say hi to everyone.
Yeah, hi everyone. It's nice to be here. Get to chat to you all again. Doesn't feel like our feet have really touched the ground since our pre-sale went live. It's been a real team effort, but we're almost there now. We're almost there, ready to deliver the product. So, firstly, I'd like to introduce Brian, who's been a very, very valuable member of the team that's been added. So I'll just let Brian introduce himself.
Thank you, Dale. Like Dale said, guys, my name is Brian, and I'm our head of business development. So I'll be meeting with all the potential partners that Swapsicle is going to work with. A little bit about me is I kind of had the entrepreneurial spirit always. I grew up, owned a couple businesses, just came over from real estate, and I've kind of known Lee for the past 5 years, and we've always kind of tried to connect on a project or do something here, and it just never seemed to work out. And then when he brought this to me, I was just like, I really think this is what the space needs. Um, you know, the transparency, the doxing, everything like that for me was just super important because I come from, the traditional sales world where, a lot of the anonymity is cool, but it's just not where I see the space going. So when I saw an opportunity like this to work with the rest of the team, I mean, I can't tell you guys how excited we are to get everything launched, to work with you guys. Everything feels like that kind of community effort, and that's kind of what I'm all about. So, again, can't stress enough how excited we are, and I'll throw it back to Jake.
Nice one, Brian. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's great to have you on the team, and yeah, I know you and Dale have been working tirelessly behind the scenes, and there's some exciting partnerships, exciting things coming up in the pipeline. Can't wait to talk to you guys about them. So let's run through the agenda so you guys know what's going to go on before we kind of open up for questions at the end. So almost the main segment of today is to be talking about the level up your crypto game that we've been talking through, the educational piece. Now, I appreciate there are some of you that may be very advanced in crypto, and a lot of this you may already know, but it's all about community here, and we want everyone along on the journey. We want everyone to have the right tools to really just do the best in the space, and also to help not just Swapsicle grow, but everyone as a community grow. So we're going to be talking through that, and Dale was actually behind a lot of the copy. So Dale's going to be really talking through that, and Brian's going to be coming in every so often as well with bits where he can add value. After that, we're going to open up to questions specifically about the level up your crypto game piece. Now, it is an open forum here, and any feedback or any things you'd like to see or like us to talk about or discuss, we're all for it. So that's your opportunity to really come up, ask any questions you have about the content we've gone through, and yeah, then after you can let us know what you think. Any feedback is appreciated, constructive or positive. Then we're going to announce the second AMA that's coming up, and we'll be giving you the dates and times on that, and we'll be telling you a little bit about what's going to be in that second AMA. Then we're going to talk through some frequently asked questions that we've had, and last but not least, we'll be opening up for questions at the end, any general questions. So without any more delaying, Dale, are you ready to rock and roll and deep dive into this level up your crypto? By all means, guys, if you've got the document, it is in the Discord. The mods will be able to point you to where it is. Feel free to open up that document and have a look through, because it may be easier to digest with reading it.
Absolutely.
Dale?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Are you good? Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so just to touch on what Jake said, we are aware we have sort of an eclectic mix of people that are at different stages of their crypto journey, and more specifically their DeFi journey. So we've tried to put this document together because we're really passionate about not just providing the facilities for you to grow your DeFi wealth, but the tools, the skills, and the knowledge to do it as well. Otherwise, you're some people really going to struggle, and we don't want to leave anyone behind. So that was the thinking behind this document. So do you just want me to dive straight in and sort of go over each section? Should we take it section at a time? What's best, Jay?
Yeah, by all means, Dale. I've got the document open, so if we kind of go off track or we skip over a step or anything, I can try and bring it back in if we need to. But mate, just do you know what? I was going to say this. I feel like we try and keep the reins on Dad a lot because he can go off into tangents deep into crypto. But I think the reins are fully off, Dale, and you go as deep as you want to go, buddy. So yeah, mate, you do your thing, and let's go.
Cool. Okay, so what I'll do is I will go as deep as people want me to go when they sort of fire questions at me. I'll try and keep it at least somewhat understandable. So yeah, the base of all DeFi is around providing liquidity, right? We know that liquidity in a market is the oxygen of that market, and the ease for the users to move in and out of that market is probably the most important we've tried to keep them to one page for each section. So the easiest way to explain the liquidity pool was with the basket of fruit analogy. So I haven't gone into sort of multi-faceted liquidity pools where you've got 3, 4s, and 5s because it's unnecessary. Just to give you the basic idea of it, I went with the fruit analogy. So when you have a basket of 2 types of fruit, when you take one out, you have to replace it with the opposite. And as we know, it's an automated market maker, so there's no order book. It's just done on a mathematical algorithm. So when you take one out and replace it with the other, the price obviously is impacted by that. So yeah, the people that provide liquidity and lock them in the pool are what we know as liquidity providers. Lots of people don't even understand what that term means. What is a liquidity provider? It's basically just someone lending their fruit, or in our case, 2 different tokens, and you'll be given a liquidity pool token, which is essentially just your share of that pool, and you'll receive fees off of providing your liquidity for people to move in and out of. But also on a decentralized exchange like ours, you are rewarded in the POPs token and also potentially partner tokens as well. So it's dual incentivized. How's that, Jake? Is that okay for liquidity pools?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we can ask the chat as we're running through. How does that sound? Do you want Dale to keep going on liquidity pools, or do you want to move on? If you want to put your hands up, you can give us an indication. Put your hands up. To be clear. Put your hands up if you want Dale to move on to the next section. If you don't, then you can recap a bit, Dale, if you want to go a bit deeper in the pool.
Yeah, it's difficult without knowing what exactly people want to know. I can talk as much or as little as they like.
I think we're seeing some hands come up.
Yeah, I'll go on to farming. Then, if anyone wants me to loop back or ask me more in-depth questions,
Can at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've already talked about liquidity pools, right? The base of everything we do, providing liquidity, and in return getting a liquidity pool token. You can't do the next step, which is what's called farming. But for those that didn't know, farming is essentially making the most of the assets you have. So not only do you get the fees, the partner tokens will be rewarded by you taking your liquidity pool token over to one of our farms and staking it in one of those farms. There will be a set APR with the rewards locked into the smart contract, and the rewards are paid per block. So each block on the blockchain that gets finalized, the rewards are paid out to anyone that's has their LP tokens locked in there.
Dale, the one thing I was going to say is, I mean, just at least for me, I haven't always, you're obviously been in DeFi a lot longer than I have, but what kind of always helped me understand is that think of when you're creating these LP tokens, there's multiple steps that you can take. So a lot of times people will just create the LP tokens, and kind of how Dale touched on it is that, yes, you're earning a portion of the transaction fees off of that anytime somebody's swapping in and out of one of those 2 currencies. But when you take it to the farm, you then get incentivized more through the POPs token itself for providing liquidity to a specific pair. So there's a kind of a multi-layer incentive to do more than just create 50% of this token and 50% of that token.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you can take it back, Dale. I was just kind of trying to put it together a little for some people.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you for that, Brian.
What I do, Dale, because I appreciate you don't want to feel like you're just monologuing to people, and I get that. So, if anyone's got any questions at this point, do they want to pop their hand up? I think we'll go with that. What do you think, Dale, Brian?
Yeah, I think that'd be really good, because I could be talking to myself at some stages. If I was to start talking about certain areas, especially with the pools, it might not make sense. So yeah, I think if we gauge where people are at, any question's a good question, and we'll stop at each stage and ask them questions. So far, we've covered liquidity pools and a little bit on farming. So if anyone wants to stick their hand up and ask a question about Swapsicle, or even about farming or liquidity providing in general, please feel free to do so now, and I'll try my best to answer.
Yeah, what we'll do, we'll pause and wait for any hands up, and we'll bring you up on stage. If we don't, then we'll swiftly move forward, Dale. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. By the way, just to echo what Dale said, no question is a silly question here. So, feel free. Okay, we're good. We're good. Yeah, if you want to move. Oh, there we go. Reliable guy.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everybody.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Fire away, mate.
Sure. When staking the POPs token into the ice cream van, so what benefits will we have apart from what benefits will we have staking the POPs token apart from just receiving AP or a percentage yield based on fees?
Okay, yeah. So the main benefit of having your POPs tokens in the ice cream van is, in fact, to earn a bigger portion of the fees, as opposed to having them sitting in your wallet, or whilst you're waiting for something to come up, whether that's one of our crowdfunding services or one of the other utility methods we've got for our token. The main reason for having it in the ice cream van is to capture more rewards, but we will be working on a mechanism which recognizes the SPOPs in your wallet, which will give you either a larger percentage or more weight when it comes to voting. So we are working on further utility for SPOPs, which is obviously the staked variation.
Right. Okay.
Okay,
no problem.
Cool. Thanks, reliable guy. We'll pop you off. We've got someone else who's wants to ask a question as well. So if you wanna take a step down, or
Can you move me? I'm on mobile. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No problem. No worries.
Can I just add to that, because obviously with the staking side of things, right, you get you don't have the risk of impermanent loss. So it's important that users get the option to utilise their POPs how they deem it fit. So the staking, but you don't have the risk of impermanent loss. It's the safest way of obviously using your POPs token to utilise it as an income stream for your holdings. And then one of the products you probably noticed in the roadmap from the white paper is that we're looking to do a collateralized loan scenario on our platform as well, where basically we could be in a farm position and have the SPOTs, and then we're going to utilize further products further down on the roadmap, so you can actually, whilst you're in a stake position, unlock the value of that. So as an example, you could use your SPOTs as collateral to then have a loan to buy more POPs to then supply liquidity. So you could be in 3 or 4 different positions by unlocking the value and earning on each of them. So hopefully that answer gives you a little bit more information of where we see the long-term play for the SPOTs.
Yeah, thanks, Lee. Appreciate that, buddy. Yes, yeah, really valid point. We've got Rude Boy. Rude Boy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. What's your question?
I guess the first question I had is there a projected launch date, and what coins do you have on the roadmap to provide liquidity for?
That's fine. What I would say is we're going to open up for questions at the end. These are specifically really to the level up your crypto game stuff. So really, we're looking at the educational piece that Dale's talking through. So liquidity pools, farming, staking, and ice cream van. So we would just want to keep it on subject for now, but by all means, don't mind benching it, and then we'll bring it back at the end if that's okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right, buddy. So yeah, now you've got to stick around to the end, right?
I'll
Okay.
drop down then.
Thanks very much, dude. Cool. Dale, do you want to move on to the next piece?
Yeah, if we're happy to do so. So yeah, like we say, farming is essentially sweating your asset, so to speak. It's taking your LP tokens and earning more rewards for having that liquidity on our platform. Now, the next section will be the rewards. What do I get with all these pops rewards that I'm getting? What can I do with them, and what are the purpose of, other than the obvious? Who wants more crypto, right? Everyone. So the pops token is obviously the lifeblood of everything we do at Swapsicle, and it's the most important thing for us is to have a really valued and respected ecosystem token, not to take anything away from our competitors, because they've done a fantastic job, and they've paved the way for everything that we're going to do. So we are really grateful for them. But naturally, there's holes in their tokenomics, in their max supply, in the inflation model that they set forth, and we've been able to learn from that, and we've essentially fixed our goals around having a really strong reward token. And that pops reward token is going to be your ticket to continued, sustained, and increasing passive income within the Swapsicle ecosystem. Now, we're not just going to be a DEX. As you can probably guess, we have a very strong team with lots of vision and lots of ambition. So it's going to be crucial for you to have pops, and there's no better time to capture your share of pops than in the first 3 to 6 months of the protocol. You can, if you're smart and you commit, you can really capture a large amount of pops, which in the long run could really serve you well. So whether that's, like I say, through crowdfunding, through governance, through being able to make decisions of where the rewards go in future, the distributions, enhanced trading fees, partner whitelist. We've got Brian, who's one of the best business development people I've ever had the pleasure of working with, putting together partnerships that you're all going to be excited for, and having access to whitelists is going to pretty much hinge on how much and what pops tokens you're holding. So like we say, it's the lifeblood, and I really want everyone to understand that holding the pops tokens is going to be your key to everything we do at Swapsicle, which is great. Everyone has a plan, right? But like we say, you won't be sitting around waiting for them things to happen. You can have them in the ice cream van, earning further fees. And as Lee quite rightly mentioned, the S pops will be collateral used for lending and borrowing, not just on our platform, but we will in time be on other lending and borrowing platforms as well, cross ecosystem. So yeah, I think it's really important to get that message across strongly.
Now, could I ask you a question, please, mate? Well, not a question, but some information that I think the community would be useful to know is, do you know when we're going to load the smart contract with the POPs, and it's going to be spread out per block, and how that would work in the farms, and how it's a benefit of going into the farms early, and how it would work the longer you're in, basically. It'd be useful for the community to know that, I think.
Yeah, okay. There's a question in the frequently asked questions that we'll cover a little bit later, a bit more into this. But yeah, it's a really, really good point. So for anyone that doesn't understand the back end of how farming works in terms of a smart contract element, what happens is the farms that we launch with, the rewards have to be loaded into the smart contract. There will be an allocation, let's call it X number of million POPs tokens need to be loaded into the smart contract. You have to choose what that number is. You need to choose what block number the emissions will start, and you have to choose what block number the emissions finish, right? And they're the three things that you can't change. Now, what that means is we're pretty open to say that the most incentivized farms and liquidity pools are going to be the POPs variants. So whatever we pair POPs with will be the highest rewarded farm. Now, the way that those work is as the pools get deeper, so let's say they go from $100,000 to $1 million in liquidity in a pool, that will actually dilute your holding. So the APY will slowly start to go down as the pool's total value locked increases. So what Lee's alluding to there is, if you get into our POPs farms early, you will actually be receiving a huge number of POPs tokens whilst waiting for the pool depth to grow. Essentially, I think is what he's getting at, and it's a very, very lucrative position to be in, to be able to deploy your tokens in the early stages of a farm, because you really will capture a huge amount of rewards. Was that kind of what you was alluding to, Lee? It was a very, very good hack, if you like, for the community.
Lee, you're muted, by the way, if you're trying to talk.
He's probably just talking away right now. Doesn't even know he's on mute.
Sorry, I was going to toilet. Ask me a question.
No, I was just covering. I was just kind of covering what you was alluding to, giving the community a real heads up on the benefits of being early into a farm, especially one that's rewarded to the degree that our POPs pairs will be. So, yeah, obviously we don't give financial advice here, but we do try our best to let everyone know in advance so they can make their own decisions. Me personally, I'll probably be having my market bought POPs in there to capture those rewards. So hopefully you will do too.
Yeah, and I've witnessed this in the past when I've partaken in supplying liquidity on the early stage launches of the DEX. And basically the APYs are very relatively high to begin with, but then they slowly reduce as more and more people enter into the farms, right? And then let's say, for instance, the first two pairs that we were to put into that farm, right, were going to be, let's say, POPs AVAX and POPs MINs, let's say, for example, right? Those two pairs of the two farms that we went live with. By the way, guys, we're going live with more than two farms, but I'm using this as an example. Then basically what we could do, we could give the POPs AVAX farm 80% of the share of rewards per block, and we could give the POPs MINs 20%. And then every time a new farm is created, we allocate a percentage of that to the farm, but then it dilutes the other farm's percentage by what the share you're giving. And we actually have to do this from a development point of view each time when we're actually adding a new farm. And obviously, as more farms get added, and as more volume grows into these farms, that the rewards will continue to drop. But what I want to ask now, Dahlia, which I think the community would love to know, is the problem with farm tokens is obviously as more people fly into the liquidity pools, the rewards drop. And can you kind of allude, without giving a full game away, that in terms of that the way we're acting is to try to turn POPs into a deflationary token to counteract the failures in the other tokenomic models usually familiar in farm tokens?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, it's always has been and always will be a priority for us to build a reward token that increases in value and respect. So yeah, and it all comes down to tokenomics, right? There's no element and there's no area that is exempt from the tokenomic model. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how good the product is. If it's hyperinflationary, it's going to trend downward. And us only having 100 million max supply, which is obviously less than half of some of the competitors, and some of the others have got huge numbers. So yeah, curbing inflation and building utility will keep that trending upwards. Obviously, you need to filter out the short-term noise of the charts. So on launch and the first few weeks, because that really is just noise. Your time horizon needs to be a bit longer. But what you will see, for me, and if we've done our job properly over the next 6 to 12 months, you'll see a strong POPs chart. Yeah.
Well, the one thing I'd add on that, Dale, is that think of it, coming from traditional finance, you put your money in a bank, they give you a return. But having a situation where it's a deflationary asset, meaning that the more people that come into our community, into Swapsicle, yes, you'll be earning less rewards, but because we aren't pumping in, unlimited amounts of coins, the more people that come in, you may be earning less rewards, but obviously the price per coin will be higher as more people come in and provide liquidity. You have better spreads, things like that, start attracting other people to come over, other different communities. Like I said, on the partnership side, I'm sure you guys are familiar. A lot of people in here seem like they're veteran DeFi people, but as you know, everyone around DeFi is going to be looking for the best returns. That's what being a yield farmer is all about. So you're going to get word of mouth of people saying, hey, Swapsicle is providing really good APYs and things of that nature. So you're going to have this synergistic effect, even if we haven't, sat down with that project and vetted them to say, okay, we want to do some type of official partnership. Anybody can bring liquidity over to Swapsicle. Anybody can list a pair, list a coin. It doesn't matter. So what you're going to see with our partnerships as we announce them is those are going to be basically we're announcing those because there's going to be an additional incentive to get POP tokens through those projects.
Absolutely, yeah. So the easiest way for me to frame the value proposition is if someone said to you, I'll give you 10% APY on your ETH. So you deposit your ETH and we'll give you 10% APY just for having it deposited. You'd probably bite their arm off, right? But if they said, oh, we'll give you 100% APY for your dog coin that is unlimited supply and gets pumped out, you'd probably be reluctant. So yeah, don't just be an APY farmer. Also look at tokenomic models as well. So I know we're running slightly behind. So Jake, do you want to?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely fine. Dale, was there anything more you wanted to go through on obviously the document where it's at, or if we've kind of covered it over, haven't we? Really?
We have covered it, and like I say, if at the end people wanna come up and fire some more questions or want us to loop back, I'm happy to do that.
Definitely.
Before we move on, I know we're going behind. We've got some hands up on this same topic. So shall we invite them up? I know we're behind schedule, but I feel bringing people up during these stages is important. So you guys all right if I bring them up quickly?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to bring on. I'll bring it up, Lee. It's okay, mate. I'll bring up Crazy J first. Crazy J, if you want to accept the invite, please, and come up. Awesome. How you doing, Crazy J? Can you hear me okay? If you're on your phone, you may need to unmute. Oh, no, you are unmuted. We can't hear you at the moment, buddy. We'll try and bring you up again then. That's fine. Let's try and bring you up a second time.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now loud and clear. How you doing? You okay?
Good. How are all of you?
Yeah, good, thank you. I mean, I'm speaking for everyone there, but I think we're all doing okay, aren't we? Yeah, please, fire away.
I just had a quick question, and I was listening during the entire AMA, but I might have missed it. I was hoping if you could explain in the white paper where it says that the SPOP will always be valued at more than the original POPs token. Can you explain how that will work, and if we are going to be able to swap SPOPs for regular POPs, or how does that work necessarily?
Yeah, Dale, you come off mute, mate.
Yeah, I'll take that. Really good question. Thank you, Jay. The way it works, you take your pops over to the ice cream van, and let's say you stake 100 pops in the ice cream van. You will get the equivalent value S pops across. Now, what S pops are obviously staked pops, right? So the the actual figure slips me, but the portion of the trading fees from all of the pools are allocated to people that have their pop staked in the ice cream van. What happens is that portion of those fees is captured in those pools, and then at least once per day, the smart contract is called. All of the LP tokens that from those fees are sold, and pops are bought off the market. The pops are then taken over to the ice cream van and deposited in there. So essentially what happens is your S pops will be growing in value because the underlying number of pops has increased because fees have purchased more pops off the market and deposited them in the ice cream van. So you might deposit 100 pops in there, and then let's say 3 days later you go back, you take your 100 S pops and you withdraw, and now you might have 110 pops. So you'll continually be earning more pops. That's what they mean by your S pops will always be worth more than pops, because it's pops plus fees.
I see. So then S pops would be the pops value plus the percentage of the fees. So when you go to withdraw them out of the ice cream van, does that automatically swap the S pop for pop, or would you be withdrawing S pop and pop if you were to withdraw out of the ice cream van?
No, so when you withdraw your pops from the ice cream van, you'll obviously hand back your S pops, and you'll be given that portion of pops back plus the fees. So yeah, you'll just withdraw your pops from the ice cream van, and that will be the pops that you initially put in plus the fees that have been earned from the platform.
Okay. And I guess one last question is: will there be utility for S pops, or to use them in the Swapsicle decks? We have to swap them over for pop.
No, yeah. So like me and Lee mentioned slightly earlier, S pops won't just be accruing fees. It'll also have its own utility insofar as, because it's a yield-bearing asset, then it's not just a standard asset. S pops is something that's continually growing in value. You will actually be able to use it as collateral to borrow against and be further capital efficient. there'll also be mechanisms built in place that recognise how many SPOPs you have, so that we recognise the people that are staking their pops and not just selling them on the market, and there'll obviously be rewards and incentives for doing so. So the easiest way that I was ever explained it in the beginning was so SPOPs is essentially your basket, and the pops are the contents of the basket. So what we're doing is we're just continually sticking more pops into your basket, and what you do is you take your basket back, give the basket back, and take all of the contents. Hopefully that makes more sense.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Sorry I missed the beginning, but yeah, that explains it very well. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. We've got another question, so we'll invite Don Mingo up to speak.
Hi, can you hear
Hi,
me?
Don. Can hear you loud and clear, buddy.
Oh,
How are we
nice.
doing?
Yeah, I'm good. You?
Good, thank you. Yeah, good. What's your question?
So I'm new to DeFi, so I don't know if maybe it's a dumb question, but I've been in a couple of protocols, and I wanted to know that when you put your POP tokens in, you receive SPOP, and then you will generate fees. You get to eat from the fees and stuff, and you can rate more POP. But do you have to put the POP back in yourself, or does it all happen automatically? Because some protocols put it in your MetaMask, and then you have to put it back yourself into the pool.
No, so in the ice cream van, obviously your fees, your pops will be accruing automatically until the point that you wish to withdraw them. So yeah, if you want to withdraw them after a week, a month, a year, they would have continually been accruing. So you won't need to put them back into the ice cream van. That will just happen automatically.
Oh, cool. So it's just actually like how you say it, like you get a stock and it just gives out dividends that you keep building until you think like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take some. Oh, okay. And you can also get your pops and you can pair them with another token, put them in the liquidity pool, and then get more S pop, and you can put that also to stake, or is that different?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't sound like you're new to DeFi. You've understood it really well. That's exactly what you would do.
Okay. So getting in at launch is actually the best time, because then you can get the most S pop, you have the most in the liquidity pool, and you can actually live off of that. Okay. No, I get it. Sorry. I get it.
Lee, can we go give Don Mingo a job?
Yeah, I know, new tokenomics advisor, right? But what I want to add is that if you was to supply liquidity, let's say to Pop's AVAX, right? You would need obviously you would need both sides of that liquidity pool, so you'd have to supply 50% AVAX, 50% Pops, right? SPOPs and the LP version of that pool are different tokens. So you don't get SPOPs in both scenarios. You'll get an LP token when you're supplying liquidity, and then you can move that into the farms, right? But going into the ice cream van, which is a different product to both of those, and that's where you will get the SPOPs then. And like we said earlier on, the idea is that we're going to utilize the SPOPs in other partner platforms as well, where we can let you guys unlock the value within that value proposition product that we've got on our platform. So then you could collateralize it, get a loan, and then you could buy more pops off of the open market and then put it back in the ice cream van, and you can double up your rewards. So that's also going to be a potential option, right? Or what you could do, because we're going down a governance structure route, you could go into a stake position in our ice cream van, release the S pops, get a collateral loan, and then go and get some VE pops, and then get a weighted governance vote. So you could be in two products with the same value at the same time. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like the Anchor protocol, a little bit like that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Then I understand it. No, I'm excited. Like it.
Awesome. Great questions there. Thanks very much. Appreciate that, Don. I'm going to move you to the audience now, buddy. So, like I say, we're open up for questions at the end. So if there's anything that's niggling away, feel free at the end. We will open up. So I just want to move on to the next section on the agenda, which is we are going to be doing another AMA on Tuesday. And this is going to be a pre-launch AMA. And we are going to be talking about a few things. There's going to be a partnership announcement. We're going to be talking incentivized pairs. And we're going to be talking about a new innovative airdrop mechanism. So they are the things we're going to be discussing on Tuesday's AMA, and we're going to be talking a bit more about the pre-launch. So we'll be able to go into a bit more detail with you guys around that. I don't think I've missed anything else off that we're willing to share at this point, guys, have I? Unless I've skimmed over anything there, but we can't really go into too much detail right now, can we?
No, and just to be clear, when we go on to the pre-launch AMA on Tuesday, we'll be giving you information about percentages, an idea of what pairs we're going to launch with on the farms, and how many tokens, and a rough estimate of basically the tokens that we're going to put into those farms for rewards. Obviously, the details of some partnerships, and how those partnerships are going to benefit our community and theirs, with dual incentivized products. We won't give a specific launch date on Tuesday because I'm always a believer of under promise and over deliver. So we'll be giving you all the information ready to go live with, let's say, a time frame window of when we're actually going to push the big red button. Just so we don't get people's hopes up that they think we're going live when.
Absolutely, that's fair, mate. That's a fair point. So yeah, we'll drop a bit more. Yeah, we'll drop the information and drop the time and the date just in case anyone's missed it. But so yeah, keep an eye out for that, and we'll drop it on our socials and in the Discord as well. And something we always try and do whenever we have the opportunity to speak with you all like this is actually go through the FAQs. So frequently asked questions, and yeah, I think now's a good time just to run through. So Dan and Brian, what we'll do, we'll take it round, and I know we've got a list that we've ran through. So I'm just going to go straight into it. So the first one is someone's asked, or should I say asked or stated, that they understand there are 3 features on Swapsicle I can use on launch: staking, farming, and liquidity pools. Which one is the safest, the most yield bearing, and which one has the better ROI? Brian, are you okay for that one, bud?
Yeah, I'll take that one for you. So it's kind of not a tricky question, but basically your safest, if you will, if that's the term you want to use, is going to be sticking your pops into the ice cream van to get S pops. The reason being is you don't have exposure to any other coin that's fluctuating. You're just putting the pops into the ice cream van to earn the fees off of all the transactions that occur on the platform. So when it comes to safest, you're going to be looking at the the S pops in the ice cream van. But again, when we're talking best ROI, again, that's going to be dependent upon multiple things, as far as how much incentivized the pool and the farm is, how many people are supplying liquidity in those pools, and then also kind of the only reason I said it was kind of a tricky question is that when you're talking about farming an LP, you create the LP token essentially to farm. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to just turn 2 coins into an LP token without then getting that additional ROI inside of a farm, whichever farm you chose to do. And again, you can analyze that as you go through and you start seeing the APYs coming through. But again, if you're just in an LP token, you're only earning a small fraction of the fees off of the the trading volume, as where when you were in a farm, you would be earning those plus. So kind of hope that makes sense. And yeah, back to you, Jake.
Nice one, Brian. Yeah, well said. Cool. So, which pairs will be listed on launch? What I'd say to that is tune in to Tuesday's AMA, and I think we'll be happy to talk about the pairs that we're going to go in with on launch. And the next one is, what is an LP token and how does an LP work? So I think we've really covered that off, but what I would say is, if you're not sure, refer to the Level Up Your Crypto doc that we've released. And I'll probably take this opportunity as well just to say that there is a second section that's going to be coming soon, and that is going to be a step-by-step guide of how to create liquidity pools on the DEX, stake on the DEX, farm on the DEX, and we're going to be going into literally step-by-step detail. It's going to be a real gamer walkthrough, so really excited to share that with you guys. I'm really keen to hear your feedback on it, so can't wait to get that out to you all. And the next question we've got is, I want to partake and build liquidity using my own POPs/AVAX tokens. Is there a risk of impermanent loss?
Yes.
Right. There is a risk of impermanent loss, right? Always.
That was the short and the long answer. Yeah. So the impermanent loss word is thrown around DeFi a lot, without really a true understanding of what it means. People either ignore it or they put too much emphasis on it. Impermanent loss in its simplest form is just opportunity cost. It's literally just opportunity cost. So yes, you will be exposed to impermanent loss, as you'll be exposed to impermanent gain as well. It has upside and it has downside. Now, obviously, the more correlated the two coins are, the less you're actually going to suffer with impermanent loss. But like I say, it's in its most basic form, it's opportunity cost. If you was to hold $100 worth of AVAX and $100 worth of POPs, if you provide liquidity, obviously you're going to get rewarded in APY. But let's say AVAX moves up 20% and POPs only moves up 5%. You will suffer some impermanent loss. But what that means is, most people think, oh, I'm going to lose money, because of the word loss is taken out of context. Net result is you'll still make profit, but loss element of it comes in where you would have made slightly more money had you just held the AVAX itself. But if you'd have just held AVAX, you might have made $20, whereas in the pool you would have made $5 profit, because naturally arbitragers, which we rely on to keep parity in the pools, that's how AMM pools work, that you rely on arbitrage bots to keep the value constant. Yeah, so don't put too much weight on the impermanent loss, and if anyone struggles with it, I'm more than happy to deep dive into the ins and outs of impermanent loss. But honestly, don't fear it too much. The only real catastrophe is if a coin goes to zero, because then you'll be left with 100% of the valueless coin. Anything other than that is exactly what the first word alludes to: impermanent, transitory. It changes, right? So yeah, don't be frightened.
Well said, Dale. Thanks, mate. We'll move on to the next frequently asked question. So, other projects such as Fiscus suffered from a 500k liquidity loss at launch due to a smart contract error. What mitigating factors will Swapsicle have in place to prevent bots or whales from drying up any liquidity pools?
Want me to take this one? Yeah,
Yeah, mate, that's your one. That's your one, buddy.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm vaguely familiar with the Fiscus. I think it was something to do with the swap mechanism. There was some sort of error. We have a very close relationship with a very, very good development team, and obviously everything would have been audited, but also the developers are really good and really trustworthy, and we as a team, as a collective, have been able to learn from the issues of others. So it's really give us a chance to double down on our code that's been put together. We'll also be allowing the swap mechanism before the liquidity is deployed. So if there is any issue, there's not going to be any liquidity exploit. So ultimately, even though we've doubled and triple checked our work, even if the highly unlikely probability that there is a bug or something, it's not going to drain any liquidity, because the liquidity won't be deployed until it's 100% safe to do so. So again, just a voice of reassurance there.
And just to add to that as well, obviously, this is why we're not rushing to go to market, and we need to as a team, because we're guardians for you, the community. So everything that we need to do is double, triple check everything before we go live to market with. So basically, when we go live, there'll be a one-to-one swap for the POP token. That'll be on a third-party platform, just like our pre-sale page. And that'll be for a separate smart contract that we're actually beta testing as we speak now. And there'll be the tokens, the 20 million POPs tokens, the actual physical POPs tokens will be preloaded into a smart contract. Okay. And then every time you connect your wallet and swap, you can swap your P-POPs over to your POPs. So that's where the initial liquidity is, and it will be supplied and managed. And what we will probably do, what we will do is we're in beta testing now, and that's kind of what's holding us up. We just want to dot the I's and cross the T's on that. And then secondly, once we go live with actually supplying real live liquidity on our DEX, we will manage that. It's not like we're going to drop millions of dollars of liquidity onto a POPs AVAX pair straight away. We'll do that in a manageable way, because Brian and Dale aren't just technical experts and business development guys. They're actually going to come up with a liquidity strategy to ensure that basically we don't get bank run at the front end of going live as well.
Thanks, Lee. Yeah, spot on. So just to get back onto the FAQs list, what liquidity pool percentages? What are the liquidity pool percentages? I wish to know which liquidity pools are incentivized the most. So POPs AVAX and POPs stable coin will be the most incentivized stable coin. They will be the most incentivized coins that we're gonna have. So hopefully that answers that one.
Just to add to that, in terms of liquidity, it will depend where the liquidity is at that given point, right? So you get a fair distribution. It's the farms that are going to be incentivized greater than liquidity. So it's if you, like we alluded to earlier on, don't just supply liquidity. You've got to move your LP token over to the farm, and that's where you will get your incentivization. So I just wanted to be clear on that.
No, absolutely, it's a fair point. When are staking rewards paid? Is that daily, weekly, or monthly? So the contract is called at least once per day. Dale, I don't know if you want to expand on that, how that calling works, or...
Yeah, I covered it a little bit earlier. So when you've got your POPs in the ice cream van, you get your S-POPs. S-POPs is POPs plus fees. Those fees are in the form of liquidity pool tokens in each pool. Our smart contract is set up to be called at least once per day, and that smart contract call essentially automates the process of selling all of the tokens in each pool that are collected in fees. They're sold for POPs, and then the POPs are transferred to the ice cream van, and that is a minimum of once per day, that smart contract call. So they're not paid weekly or monthly. They're actually done minimum once per day.
Perfect. Cheers, Dale. What have we got next? liquidity pools percentage. Apologies if you can hear my son in the background, by the way. He's come in the room and I'm the only one in with him. So
Take your foot off his head then, mate.
he's fine. So what's the next one we've got here? So is there any lockup periods where I can potentially earn more POPs tokens?
Yes, is the answer to that. Yes, there is. And I like the fact that that question's even been asked because it shows intent to engage in the long-term vision of the project. So yes, like we've covered, there is going to be a lockup period that will give you a weighted governance vote, but it'll also give you more VE pops, which will again impact your ability to partake in all the other Swapsicle ecosystem utilities, whitelist, etc., etc. So yes is the answer to that, but not on launch because it's quite a complex process. We'll be working with our developers, but the lockup and vote escrowed decentralized governance will be coming, and we'll deliver that as quickly and as safely as possible for you all to lock your pops up.
Yeah, and it's safe to say as soon as it's there, you guys should know. We'll let you know about it, right?
Absolutely.
And one other thing to add, as well, on top, just said the reason we can't do it on launch, you need deep liquidity pools as well for this. So we want to ensure that we've got deep liquidity pools and we've got the product right to market as well. There is going to be some other lockup mechanisms within the platform that we can't allude to because these are like our secret source items and they're going to be copied within the market. So what we're going to do, we're going to develop them in stealth mode and then just drop it on you guys, the community, when it's ready to go live. Then our competitors can't react to it.
Absolutely. Nice one, Lee. Thank you. How do I swap my P-POPs for POPs? Brian?
Gosh, I feel like I get all the easy questions. You guys have to tiptoe around and make sure you don't slip up your words. P-POPs and POPs is going to be just like how you guys got your pre-sale on a third-party website. Like we said, we'll do it right before launch. And then that way you can swap everything over basically just the same way you did it to purchase them. It'll just be type in as many P-POPs as you have, the wallet will recognize it, and just put the POPs right into your wallet. So very easy process.
Perfect. Thank you. Cheers, Brian. So we're going to open up for questions. Dale, Lee, Brian, are you happy to stick around for another 10, maybe 15?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good to me. Before we do that, there's going to be something that drops on our socials tomorrow, so please keep an eye out for it. I can't really say anything now, but I'm hoping tomorrow we're going to be able to drop something quite special. So we're going to be dropping that on Twitter and on Discord. So please keep an eye out for it, and appreciate all you guys going over to our Twitter, retweeting, liking, commenting. It's absolutely appreciated because we really want to spread the message as far and wide as possible. So thank you so much. But yeah, let's open up. Reliable Guy's had his hand up for a while, so appreciate you waiting. You can put your arm down now, Reliable Guy. I hope it's not gone too numb. But he's gone. Oh, there he is. There he is. Come on up, buddy.
You did tell me to put my arm down, so.
Let's fire away, please.
1 year down the line, how many chains will Swapsicle support?
Oh, can I answer that?
I was just about to say, I think this will probably be Lee's domain. We have got a strategy, and it is an aggressive one. So I'll let Lee take that.
Because I do remember someone saying 1 every 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Oh no, I gave the game away. No, but basically, we've looked a strategy between the technical team, the liquidity managers, and everything like that. And we've kind of come up with a really kind of great strategy to go after and land liquidity from other chains and then take other assets cross-chain as well. We are going to be building our own bridge. We're not going to be using somebody else's, and that'll be a development straight away as soon as we're live. The idea is within the first couple of months of going live, the first couple of chains that will be coming to market will on our decks, on top of the Avalanche one we're going live with, would be Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. They're the first two ones we're going to target. Then the next question to that is why those two first? We feel that Ethereum, because of the ecosystem, is so huge. And if we could bring that value and bring those communities to our ecosystem, that would add value to all you guys. And why Binance Smart Chain? Well, we believe that liquidity is very gettable with the strategy that we've got. So we're going to target, let's say, the chains with the liquidity we feel we can bring over very quickly. And then what we will do, we will try to target a new chain once every 4 to 6 weeks, but it will all be based on how successful we are with delivering the other chains first, because there's no point in just adding other chains for the sake of it. We want to build the market organically, and if we manage to grab loads of liquidity off of that, off every chain, but we'll go live, but we want to make sure that we're strong in each market before we take on another one. But what I can guarantee to you at this point is that you'll have Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain within the first couple of months of going live.
Thank you very much.
Any more questions, Reliable Guy?
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I couldn't get back on the main stage for a second. But no, thanks for your Reliable Guy. Thanks for your questions, buddy. If you do have any more, please stick your hand back up. But yeah, it's a great question. And always love people holding Lee to account on what he says. Cool. Anyone else got any questions? Or is it going to be an early night?
Looks like we got one. D7.
Yeah. Yes, we do. There we go.
Yes, we do. How are you doing? How are you doing, guys? Yeah, that'll be. I need to explain my moniker. So my university days, I was Disco Pete, and I've got older and I've lost all the vowels. So now there's just Disco. All the vowels are gone. Disco Pete with no vowels. Just my introduction.
Disco Pete, do you say happy birthday to people by just putting HB?
Something like that, yes.
I like it. It's saving time.
Yeah. Efficiency all across the board. So,
fire away.
I only want to chip in and say I'm having a whale of a time on Kronos. If you're considering chains, then have a look at Finance.
What was that? Sorry, have a look at
MM Finance, Mad Meerkat Finance line, Mad Meerkat Finance.
Okay, Dale.
They have had a roller coaster. They've literally taken people 12x and back again. So I've made and lost more than I've had in my entire life in the last 3 months. And they are doing Tomb Fork type projects.
Oh, could you mention that? I am aware of MM Finance. They got over $1 billion in TVL.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
Yes,
almost made my life and then almost completely ruined it again.
Okay.
And it's still in play. But I don't want to shill off the projects. This one's a definite solid invest for me. 30 plus and nesting.
That's great to hear, buddy. So yeah, no, I'm really pleased that you made it back up after what sounds like quite a
Oh, it's a roller
traumatic.
coaster. It's traumatic. Not good for the blood pressure.
Absolutely not. I mean, that's why we're really hitting on in this whole educational piece at the moment, because we want to give people the tools and knowledge and know-how, to really hedge their bets and, go in with the tangible tools that they need to kind of execute crypto effectively. So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, thanks very much. Appreciate your time. Who's up next? Have we got anyone? We'll give a minute, and if not, we'll wrap up, and we'll definitely see you all next Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm just going to give you all a parting gift. Lee sort of alluded to the Binance Smart Chain now. PancakeSwap have got over $5 billion of TVL. And we're coming for some of that because our tokenomic model will blow PancakeSwap out the water. But yeah, $5 billion, even if we capture some of that, for all of you POPs holders, it could be very, very good. So yeah, Binance Smart Chain, we are coming for you.
And yeah, this strategy that the guys have come up with, it's going to be terrifying for the DEXs on the Binance Smart Chain at the moment because of their tokenomic design. Basically watch this space on the Binance Smart Chain side of things.
And the last thing I'll add is that when we came over and decided to do this as a team, what was the one thing that we noticed is that no one is treating this like a business. People are just plopping these things up. Here's a DEX, people bring liquidity over, but nobody's really thought, okay, well, if we include everyone and we partner with people and we treat it like a traditional business, it can thrive like a traditional business. And I think that's kind of been the one thing that, at least in my mind, when Lee approached me about this, is I saw an opportunity that says, if you bring traditional business into the DeFi space, there's nobody that's doing it right now. And the opportunities are endless because a lot of these companies, you can't get a hold of them. They don't even want to talk partnerships. Why did you incentivize that? Why not this? And there's just so much opportunity that, like Dale and Lee said, even if we grab just a fraction of what they're doing, the fact that we're accessible and we can reach people and form these partnerships is just, in my opinion, going to make this space grow astronomically. So I'll leave you guys with that.
Brian, quick question. What's been the major positive feedback when you have been reaching out and speaking to potential partners?
So the number one thing is you're accessible. Like I get that all the time in sales, just traditional sales. Even if everyone's docs, that's not a big deal. Yes, that's a positive, but the fact that, hey, we can jump on a Zoom call. We always have our cameras off with them. They're looking at us face to face, that we're real people and that we want to make this work. And at the end of the day, everyone who understands DeFi understands that every partnership that we've worked through is mutually beneficial to both communities that can then introduce a community to Swapsicle, and then we can bring our community to their community. And it's there. I told Lee this. I said, I've never been in a sales position to where I need to force someone, or I feel like I'm getting the better end of the deal and they're maybe losing out. And I'll give you a great example. When buying a house, even if you had a realtor, you want that person to buy that house because you want to make a commission. Well, they may not want to buy that house. So there's always going to be some of that, well, I don't quite know. And then the realtor's like, well, yeah, you should because I want to get paid, right? There is none of that in this space. because everyone's winning. Everyone's being able to work together just for the greater good. And I got to tell you, once I understood DeFi, it's no joke that there's literally two worlds happening right now. You got CeFi and you got DeFi. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Very valuable 2 cents at that, Brian. Thank you.
Definitely, yeah. We've got B-Ball 06.
Yeah.
Welcome, buddy. How are we doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
We're good. We're good. Thank you.
Okay.
What's your question?
Okay. I got a real quick question. Very new to this DeFi thing. Got in with PCC. I feel I got very fortunate. And then I heard about your guys' project and got into it also. And I'm very thankful for what you guys are doing. Quick question though. I'm very new to the liquidity pool, the staking and all of that. What would be a good option for me to get in and like to earn rewards, but yet still kind of learn about the liquidity pool and the staking and all that, and kind of branch out to get to where I'm comfortable wanting to get into all of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say the main thing for you would to give yourself an edge over lots of other people is to really understand what you're doing at its most basic level, first principle thinking. So read our document, study the liquidity pools. How do they work? How does the X times Y equals K constant product market maker function work? It's really not that complex. Just spend a little bit of time going through how the liquidity pools work and how they can actually make you passive income, and then dive straight in.
Awesome. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you guys, and thank you for what you're doing.
No worries. I'm always in the Discord. If you've got any questions, fire one at me, and I'll always try and help.
Will do. Thank you very much.
And just to add to that, B-Ball, Jake and the marketing team are actually doing a step-to-step guide to using our products with screenshots of the decks and putting these documents out to you guys, to the community. So basically, all you got to do is follow 1 to 5, and it will take you each step of the process all the way through, because we think it's important that anybody new to the space in using these products need to have that guidance and also the support from us as well. So it's all well and good us bringing great products to market, but if people don't understand them, then they're no good, right? So the idea is that we work with you, our community, to help bring your knowledge base up to a level where you feel comfortable in using and utilizing the products that we're going to bring to market.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Nice one. Thank you, B-Ball. Have we got any other hands up? No. I'm happy.
Oh, you know, when launches, they want one of us to slip up, you know?
I got
Domingo?
Yeah, man. Quick question. Will you guys also will the P-POPs or the POP token also be listed on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap?
To be discussed.
Okay.
To be fair, we do want our token to be on various different platforms and especially cross-chain. But when you go on to kind of, you're talking about listings, yeah, on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, yes, we will be. But in terms of going on to centralized exchanges or anything like that, that's from a strategy point of view, we'd have to have enough liquidity out there, and we don't want to create markets just for the sake of it. So you probably see a lot of projects get listed on centralized exchanges as well, very early, and for me, it doesn't make sense, and there's no liquidity on there. So the price fluctuations on the centralized exchanges are huge. But yeah, to answer your question about CoinGecko, yeah, we will be applying to get listed on there.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Right.
Perfect. Thanks, Domingo. Cheers, Lee.
Cheers.
Cool. So I think that about covers it. If anyone wants to sign off with any words, I think now's the time. And we will see you. Look forward to hopefully seeing you all on Tuesday, where we talk pre-launch AMA and some other bits. And like I say, keep an eye out tomorrow on the socials. We should be sharing something that we think is very exciting. But yeah, any last words? Anyone?
I think the only thing I forgot to mention is that I'm the Lone Ranger in the States here. So if anybody's in the States, I'm more on your time frame. I know most people are from Europe, but just kind of wanted to point that out for everyone. I didn't know if they could tell from the accent,
Ryan he's our adopted Englishman. We're getting him into fish and chips and tea and scones.
Got me Nick is on.
Yeah, no, in all seriousness, I just want to say thank you to everyone for being patient, for being supportive, and for believing in the vision. None of us would have been able to do it without the support. Yeah, personally, thank you for supporting us, and like I say, we will absolutely fight to make this the best DEX, firstly on Avalanche and then cross chain. So thank you.
Yeah, well said.
And just to add to what Dale said there, honestly, it is an absolute pleasure to work for you guys, the community, because we do see you guys as one of us. So we really are going to war for you guys. We're going aggressively after partnerships. We're going to go aggressively after liquidity. And not only when people say, Trader Joe has the market, etc. Well, we're going after that. We want to be the number one DEX on Avalanche. And that's just target one. Then we want to kind of go after the bigger boys within the DEX market. So we're very, very ambitious individuals. And we hope that you, the community, are as ambitious as us, because we really do want to make a footprint on this space and to be one of like the bigger kind of players within the space. And we can't do that without you, the community. One thing that we didn't touch on, Dale, which we've discussed quite a lot, is what the farm tokens, just one last question I want to kind of talk about what farm tokens normally do when they go live and where they kind of go in the future and stuff like that. So, because we did a study, because we've been deliberating about what our launch price will be, and we'll give you our launch price on Tuesday. But we've studied every single farm token that's gone live, and we've noticed similar things. But we've got a different tokenomic model, so our token may react differently. But what did you find within your study, Dale?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, a lot of it is short-term noise, right? People get too caught up on the wrong time frame. So Sushi Swap, absolutely fantastic protocol. Lost 90% of its value after launch, right, in the first week, and then 100x'd. Pancake Swap did something similar, as did Uniswap. So short term, the message is the short term price noise really doesn't determine the value of anything. Yeah, so obviously all the data's out there for you all to go and have a look and make your own minds up. But yeah, just don't get caught up with the short term noise.
And that's why we've had to be very kind of strategic with our launch price. Because what we don't want to do, we don't want to put it at a certain price that basically enables people to kind of take too much profit early on. We want you guys, you POP token holders, and the reason we've given you it at such a great discount is so you can use it on our platform. And we know where we're going with this token in the future, so we want you to encourage to use it. Because at the end of the day, this is a deflationary farming utility token, which is it's not really been seen really with what with what's on the market at the moment, with what we're trying to achieve. So yeah, just basically watch your space. Be prepared for maybe a price drop on launch, because that's kind of what other tokens have done. We might not. People who maybe missed out on the pre-sale because we sold out might be buying off of the open market. But like I say, just be prepared for the unknown, and basically we're in it for the long haul. So it isn't like a 1-2 week kind of make your profits move out. We're saying stick with us for the future, and we're doing all we can to bring our full product suite of products out. But we will be looking to try and deliver our full suite of products within 6 to 12 months of going live.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I think that about wraps it up. And we'll see you all on Tuesday. But thanks everyone for joining, and take care. Enjoy your weekend. See you later.